Hello, I'm Frank Hannaway, and welcome to Big Journey, Small Steps, the channel where I talk about my path to self-realization and the small steps I'm taking to get there with the help of my teacher, Eknath Ishwaran. Well, Ishwaran cautions us not to dwell in the past. And I mean, he actually comes out and says the past doesn't exist. And when you think about it, the past only exists as little, I don't know what, in your mind, wherever in your memory, little stored neural synapses or something. And yet we put a great deal of energy, or I have, if you don't, you are so fortunate, into this happened to me then, this person said this to me then. Like when I was 8, sometimes things will come up. And this whole thing about the past has been really acute for me because I'm living in the house that I grew up in. And the people in this community that I see, everything that we have in common is generally memories 50, 60 years ago. Ugh. Yeah, a long time ago. And so when I see them, that's what we talk about because that's what we have in common. And it's hard because in my mind, I will just see something bubble up. I forget, something will come up I hadn't thought of in years. I have an incredibly good memory, unfortunately, and I remember every unkind thing anyone ever said to me. And some of those things, the things that were the most impactful, I think for the most part, I have let go of, but that takes, at this point in my life, a conscious effort on my part. And I just think, my Lord, that's over. That person probably they weren't honestly trying to hurt me, or if they were, so what? Why have you let them succeed? But, it's getting hard. Like, I'm getting careful about the music I listen to because it just all takes me back to that feeling of being a little kid who lived in a community where his family was firmly rooted, and yet that little kid felt like a total outsider. And it's funny, I don't feel so much like an outsider today, but I also don't know that I feel like I belong here. And I guess that's a spiritual weakness. I guess I belong wherever I am. The other interesting thing about the past is that's the big struggle with my mom, is the past is slipping away from her. And not just memories of what happened, but vocabulary, a lot of vocabulary. And it's interesting because words that you don't use all the time, like the other day she saw ketchup on my plate. My mother doesn't eat ketchup anymore, or if she ever did much. And I was having some baked fries and I put some ketchup on the plate, and she said, "What is that?" Have you ever tried to explain what ketchup is to somebody who doesn't know? I finally think I said tomato sauce, and she finally said, okay, I wasn't sure if she understood or not. It's just so evidently in my life, this issue of the past is something I need to be working on and giving it some significance, but not being buried in it, not being here, being present now. So many spiritual teachers talk about that. Even people like, Eckhart Tolle has built his whole spiritual community talking about the power of now and how this moment is important. And physics tells us that our perception of time is not accurate. So I got something to work on there. If I come up with something, I'll surely share it with you. Thank you for spending your time with me today. And from the bottom of my heart, I would love to see that you have in your life peace and joy.